Welcome back, everybody. It's been a long time. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been quite a long time since I streamed last, and I took a little bit of a break. November kind of got very busy, and there was a bunch of stuff that while I was streaming, it was getting kind of boring, so I figured I'd do a lot of it off stream. And because I didn't plan so much, it was getting kind of difficult to just start a stream and just be like stomached into or having analysis paralysis into thinking of what I needed to do. So yeah, it was a bit difficult to stream. So what I want to do is get these streams back up and running with the new year, new stream. So we're back at it. I want to get this stream started soon. I'm just gonna quickly check the audio levels, so just give me 1 second. I'm just checking the audio streams. Give me 1 sec. Okay, let me just... trying to hear the audio here. Oh. Okay, the audio is a bit loud. The music's a bit loud. Stream sponsored by Tim Hortons. Okay, the audio is good. I just need to lower the volume a bit. Okay. Well, I think we're good. Here we go. In fact, I'll lower this a little bit. There we go. Oh. Okay, let me stop this audio real quick. Okay, there we go. Still a little bit loud even for me, so I'm gonna lower it even more. Okay, let's get this stream started. Welcome back to my streams. Let me take this off really quick. Okay, there we go. Welcome back to my streams. I haven't really decided what to call these streams. Maybe the Mobro experience, right? Or not the Mobro experience. Maybe the Mobro broadcast. You can call me Mobro. That's my nickname, right? Okay. So welcome back. Today what I want to do is kind of go over my New Year's resolutions, start the year off in a nice way. What I want to plan to do is kind of use this stream as a way to keep myself accountable and keep the things that I do for work and things like that, for fun. Keep it as a nice way to log what I do and try to do try to have a bunch of accomplishments logged on a live streaming platform and seeing what cool things I can show from the work that I do. on a live streaming platform like YouTube. And eventually maybe I might do it on Twitch as well. Pretty much want to continue what I was doing last year. Like I said, last year towards the end I took a bit of a break, and I came back with resolutions for this year, and what I'm gonna try to do is go over my projects for this year and how to move forward. So let me think about what I should do first. What did I... Okay. So this year, I want to try to be a little bit more organized with the streams itself. Last year, I kind of just went, fuck it, I'm gonna start streaming, and let's see what happens. I have no plan, nothing written out. I just wanted to stream every day. And I streamed more or less every day, but then I kind of got blocked in terms of work. So with this new setup, what I'll do is try to make it a little bit more interesting. I will try to plan out what I do per stream. It doesn't have to be that like point by point, but maybe I'll have like 3 goals or like 1 goal to try to finish by the stream, which I kind of was trying to do, and it can be kind of boring, but maybe I want to try to do a little bit more like fun activities and stuff like that on the stream to try to make it more interesting, and then I can try to share these streams for it to be more fun. I'll give you a little bit of recap of what I did during the vacation. I went on break a little bit. Mimi's here, by the way. She's gonna come on probably soon. Maybe I can get my photos, show you what I did for vacation. So maybe I'll do like what Hassan does. I'll do my personal updates in the beginning of the stream, like maybe the first 10 minutes, and yeah, and then from then on I can go into more of the meat of the stream, and I'll talk about my resolutions. So what I'll do is I'll tell you what I did this vacation. I'll go through my resolutions, and then I'll kind of go over my projects for this year that I want to try to accomplish. Okay, so give me 1 second. So what did I do this vacation? So this vacation, I'm gonna share my main screen. Code cam, there we go. And last year I was kind of just trying to figure out the setup for the streams. I want this to be a very low effort. Like, start off very low effort, and as I start developing stuff like the camera server, I'll try to include more cameras and more things that I can try to show off. So my vacation, my family came and visited me here in Quebec, in Montreal, and we did a bunch of day trips. It was a kind of a while since I saw my family. My mom and my brother came to visit me, and we decided to do a bunch of day trips around Quebec. So this time we went to Mont-Tremblant. I don't know if you know Mont-Tremblant. It's a city here in Quebec, and it's freezing. It's usually a ski hill, but none of us really ski, so we just went there to have a good time, and we pretty much just chilled and checked out the area. Let me see. How can I show this, to be honest? I have no idea. This is my mom with my cat. She came and saw my cat. She's playing with my cat. Honestly, she missed my cat more than she missed me. I want to show... How do I show this? Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to show off. Because not all my photos are shown here for some reason. Yeah, where are all my photos? Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'll do it like this. Less technology, the better. So my mom and my brother came and visited me. We just went to like a Mexican restaurant, ate some good food. Then we went up to Mont Tremblant, which was a little more like a mountainous area here in Montreal where people go skiing. My family came with me. That's my cousin and my girlfriend. She came with me as well. We climbed up this observatory. I don't know if you see it. It's very hard to see on the camera actually. There we go. We climbed up this thing. It's like this huge tower near Mont Tremblant. Here. I am messing up a little bit. Ooh. It's because the tractor's on it. We climbed this little tower. And we had a great view of the nice area near surrounding Mont Tremblant. So it's a very winter wonderland. That's me and my mom's. There you go. We rented this little Airbnb, which is pretty cute. And then we visited the little town area of Mont Tremblant where people go skiing. Like I said, we didn't ski this time, but honestly, it's a great area. It was freaking cold. Let's see. Yeah, this is the people skiing. I would like to go next time. Next time I'll go skiing, maybe I'll review it. And then we did Park Omega, which is kind of like an outdoor car safari thing. And we saw a bunch of animals. Let's see. We saw a bunch of deers. They come up to the car, you can feed them like a carrot and stuff. This was my favorite animal that we saw. I saw an ox. Or a buffalo. Or sorry, not bison. I saw bison. This was a really cool one. These animals look really cool. They look scary, but really like unique. They got these horns that make them look like devils. But at the same time, they're just like wildebeests, you know? They're really cool. This was a really cool animal too. I forgot what it's called. I think it's like a mountain goat. Lots of deers. Honestly, it's a pretty fun experience. We don't I don't usually do this kind of stuff, but I felt like it was a fun little activity that we did. Then we went to Montebello, which is like another city here in Quebec, and we visited this nice... Actually, the Park Omega is in Montebello, not Mont Tremblant. So we visited this log cabin called Chateau Montebello. It's like a Fairmont hotel that's a log cabin, and it was really cool. Honestly, that was a really cool hotel to stay at that I would like to stay at one day. It's like a log cabin, perfect to the winter, to be honest. Such a beautiful sunset. Like I said, it was family time. It was really cool. Honestly, hidden gem of a place. I don't know if there's many activities to do in Montebello, but I'm guessing if you want to go skiing or hiking and stuff, you could stay at this hotel. It's the Fairmont Hotel. And I thought it was really cool. And then finally we did a day trip to Quebec City, where you have the Chateau Frontenac. There you go, the Chateau Frontenac in the background. That's me and my girlfriend in the front there. Me and my familia. My mom, my brother, my cousin, his girlfriend. We had a great time. Let's see. Look at us, cute, right? We went on this nice little. This is inside the Chateau Frontenac. It's another hotel by the Fairmont. It's really nice. It's like a historic site. Very nice place to visit as well. We did a lot of Quebec history. This was the Battle of I forgot what it's called. Abraham Plains, where the Battle of Quebec happened. The Battle of Abraham or something like that. Cute photos. We ate at a bunch of restaurants. It was nice. Little vacation. I gained mad weight. Obviously, I need to. That's part of the resolutions I'm going to talk about later. Look at us. I didn't even realize the waiter in the back was in the photo. I won't show his face, but there you go. Look at us. Like a family. It was really nice. I haven't seen them in quite a while, so I was really cold. Very nice. Okay, yeah, so that was my vacation. It was a local vacation because I live up here in Montreal. Oh, look, this video of the deer. Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty nice. Let's see. Do I have any other photos around here? I'm trying to see. What did I do for New Year's? New Year's, we just hung out with friends. We went to a friend's place. It was 4 of us, and we just chilled, ate dinner, and had a good time, good conversations. And then as soon as it hit 12, we left. We're like, okay, Happy New Year. And then we drove back home. So it was nice. Nice New Year. Let's see. Here's a little photo. Here, here's a nice photo of us during New Year's. There you go. And what else? And then not much else. We just had a swell old time. This is my cat in my laundry basket. She always likes to fur up my clothes as soon as I clean it. But yeah, so that was my vacation. I did absolutely no work whatsoever, but it was a good break. I didn't do any work. I didn't focus on anything, and it helped me rejuvenate a little bit for streaming again. So now we're back. They left back to go back home, and yeah, and here we are. So back to my just cam. Yeah, so oh, your message? No. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just checking out the stream stuff. Okay, so as you can tell, we ate a lot during vacation. We ate a lot. And I definitely gained some weight. Or definitely did not eat healthy this vacation. So one of the main things that I'm gonna try to do now that we're back at it, is obviously do some resolution stuff. There you go. So the day before New Year's, I wrote up a bunch of resolutions that I want to try to achieve during this, and I think some of them will be streaming goals as well. And what else? What else? Yeah, streaming goals, weight goals, and stuff like that. So what I'll do is I'll go over some of these, and then kind of what we can do is I can set some predictions for 2026, and then I'll talk a little bit about the work stuff that I want to try to do, things that I'll try to stream as well. Okay? Okay, let's see. So honestly, 2025 was a bit of a shitty year. I didn't like it mostly because of world events. And what I did was kind of wrote out what made 2025 shitty and what made 2025 a good year, and kind of based my stuff for my resolutions based on this, like what I would like to see change. Even though a lot of the stuff that made 2025 kind of shitty was the fact that stuff that's a bit out of my control. But regardless, I wrote it down. So why I thought 2025 was shitty. First of all, the main reason that had me depressed most of the year was the genocide in Gaza. Honestly, it was really messed up to see live stream genocide happening and nobody caring about that. And even like people who do, like when people do care, they're just vilified, turned into bad people. Even though they're doing like the most obvious righteous thing. It's like so obvious. It's so, you know, there's a lot of nuances and things that happen, but this is just not one of those things that is very nuanced. And honestly, that disheartened me a bit, and I know a lot of it has to do with propaganda that's happening in this world. Especially here in North America. Like I kind of lost faith in news media. Because everything that's good always has to have like a condition to it. Like, it's like objectively good, but you have to turn it into like you present it as it's like the worst thing ever. So for example, like people protesting about the war but providing funding to weapons manufacturing. There's people at McGill University that were protesting the McGill endowment, which funds a lot of the weapons manufacturing, and everything is presented as these protesters are scary terrorists. They're just disruptive. They're causing damage. They're unnegotiable. And then they're just presented like that in the media and by the administration itself. And I just don't understand why it's such a bad thing that they protest. They're vilified, and it was really messed up. And I even have people who say like things like, oh, even if you try to have a conversation about it, people will just revert back to the normative position of like get emotional. But like it's a very high stakes conversation, and people, I just find that people don't have the humanity. They don't take any humanity into concept. It's like, okay, we gotta break some eggshells so that we can have like an apartheid state, like it because they're our allies. I'm like, I don't know, do you have no empathy whatsoever? You know, like, I don't know. It honestly, it was disheartening. So what made 2025 a shitty year? The genocide in Gaza. That was a big one. And that kind of made me lose faith in average person's ideology. And it's not just Gaza, it's everything. Like, I watch a lot of news in the United States or even around the world. The world is becoming so anti-immigrant. And I genuinely don't understand. I get like people have this bias against immigrants because they think that immigrants are taking away their own opportunities for people who are quote unquote their own land or their own nationality. But in reality, it's not immigrants that are taking away your opportunities. It's the government, it's the economy, you know? And I don't know. I genuinely lost faith in the average person's ideology, like the lack of empathy, lack of humanity. You know? I know, like, I'm not even religious, but even religious people, I don't understand. Like, you're supposed to help thy neighbor. You're supposed to be empathetic to poor people. And I just lost faith in just seeing how much people were not empathetic. They're just caring about money, how much money they can make. And there's no real human values or any values that they hold except for this is bottom line good for the economy. So whatever it is, it makes my life better. Well, I think it makes my life better, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. And that messed me up. I'm not gonna lie. So I have a lot of news fatigue this year. The world's general trend towards fascism and anti-immigrant sentiment really didn't help. I felt helpless in my ability to affect positive change. You know, I'm just a student. I can't really do much. I don't have a lot of money to help people. And apparently that's what you need to help people. It's the only thing that can change people's mind, apparently. I don't get it. I don't get the anti-immigrant sentiment. Like, the big argument here in Canada, people say, is we just don't have the infrastructure to support so much immigrants. And I don't understand that, because immigrants help you develop your infrastructure. It's not like infrastructure is a stagnant thing. You have more money, you have more people, you have more taxes, you have more funding to fund initiatives for infrastructure. A good example is my friend's mom is like came here as an immigrant, and they became a doctor, and they built health clinics themselves. They run a health clinic. They built the infrastructure. They're an immigrant, you know. So, you know, it doesn't make sense. Infrastructure is not a stagnant thing. So if you want to blame not having infrastructure, you have to blame the government that's not putting funding towards that, and instead putting funding towards sending your money to build weapons for wars overseas. You know, so honestly, I understand why it's a thing, because it's kind of a scapegoat. You can blame all your economic issues on immigrants, and you can scapegoat them and say these are the people that you know, like I said, they're saying no infrastructure. I just gave you an example. So in Canada, one of the biggest examples is medical infrastructure. They're saying we just don't have the medical resources to help this many people of immigrants, let alone our people. But I just gave you an example of people who are immigrants coming to become doctors, start their own practices, build their own infrastructure, stuff like that. So if you want to blame somebody for not helping create this infrastructure, it's not immigrants, it's the government. They don't want to set money towards this. They don't want to provide funding towards paying people for their you know, we have a lack of doctors here in Canada. So you need more people to become doctors, you know, and you're not helping incentivize them. You're not paying them enough. How is that immigrants' fault? You know. So anyway, I'm talking at this in terms of humanist. I'm not being very analytical about it. I'm just talking about this in a very humanistic component to it. I'm sure the analytics support what I'm saying, but take what I say. This is kind of just what my perception and why I thought it was a shitty year. And like I said, I felt helpless in my ability to affect positive change. Like, no matter if you go to a protest, you become demonized and people end up hating you. So I've even had friends who talk about how much they hate these protesters, or even like strikes against unions. I mean, union strikes. How much they've blamed the people striking instead of, you know, honestly, like I said, I lost faith in the average person's ideology. I can't explain what it is. I kind of blame propaganda, but you know. This year I didn't make a lot of money, you know. I'm a student. I don't get a lot of money. I have to do odd jobs here and there. So this year I want to try to make more money without compromising a lot, you know, values and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. This year I really veered off my routines. I used to have a very strong daily routine, and towards the end, you know what happens is I get so busy that the routine gets thrown away. So this year I really want to prioritize my routines. Again, like I said, another reason why this year was shitty was the world events are too shocking. It's starting to become numbing. I'm really afraid of the rise in fascism and the normalization of fascism. People being a lot more openly racist. Like, when I'm online, I see how racist people are towards Indians, or even like brown people in general, and people are becoming a lot more open about that, and it really scares me. That's definitely 2025 did not see a decrease in that. Generally, I hate how people have no empathy for others, hyper individualism, no concern for the greater good, but just I have to get mine before anybody gets theirs type of mentality, which kind of is disheartening. And because of that, I started to lose hope and have become less charitable to people. I let my emotions judge them too, instead of being charitable to them. So, you know, even myself, I'm starting to lose hope in other people. And I think this year, I want to throw that away. I was a lot more charitable to people, like even if they had messed up ideologies. I was very understanding towards the end of this year. I was definitely less charitable, and you know, I kind of like, it's like, okay, you have a bad opinion, I'm gonna try to avoid you, and I shouldn't do that. That's not good, because they're normal people, you know, there's a reason why they think this way. And it's definitely a lot of propaganda, a lot of like just taking news within face value. So that definitely, I want this year to be reset, not take things personally, try to understand their worldview. If I can just set an example as a human being, great. I can't change what people think, except for just using myself as an example, so I want to try to be more that way. I got fatter. This year I got fatter for sure. I gotta get back on that routine. This year I became a lot more afraid of the future and less hopeful. You know, it seems that wealth disparity is becoming more and more apparent, and opportunities are becoming less and less apparent. So I became a lot more afraid of the future. You know, will I be able to afford things in the future? I don't know. Yeah, so this year I fell for a lot of rage bait. This year I watched a lot. I was chronically online. I was watching a lot of reels. I was watching a lot of Reddit. And, you know, honestly, I feel like a lot of that media is designed to be rage bait. Like, people will say things, whether they mean it or not, they know people will get a reaction out of it. And I let people who rage bait get the better of me. Like, I was getting more and more shocked about what's happening, and I don't want to fall for that anymore. I need to get off that, because that's what they thrive off of. So I want to get off the rage bait a little bit. Okay, so that's what made 2025 very shitty, in my opinion. Like I said, a lot of it is something I can't really control, but it's good to keep that into perspective. So let's move on to why I thought 2025 was a good year. Okay? First and foremost, my boy Mamdani won New York City mayoral race. Marginal hope restored. That was a big one. Marginal hope restored. If you want to know my ideology, think about Mamdani. That was a great end to the year. Honestly, I was really happy. And he just did the inaugural ceremony, and now he's back. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't want to put too much hope into one single person, but I like the idea that he represents. And hopefully this will push the world to be more. What I notice in the world is they tend to follow like a lot, like patterns a bit. how do I explain this? What I find is the world tends to follow examples, and I hope the example that Mamdani sets will trickle down, or whatever, ripple. I think the ripple is the better. Um, so I hope that ripples away. Like, I don't know if he's gonna do well. If he does well, amazing. But at least his message was good, and I hope that trickles or ripples towards the rest of the world. Um, One example of that is, like, I see a lot of anti-immigrant sentiment in the world, and it, like, a lot of it originates from the United States, as an example. um, and we see, like, for example, the prime minister of Japan is a crazy anti-immigrant person. It's like, how is your country gonna survive without any immigrants? Your population is dying. But anyway, all right, let's keep going. I spent more time with friends and family this year than 2025. That was really good. I'm really happy about that. I did a trip to Japan with my mom. I did a trip to Japan to see my friend's wedding. Think I spent more time with friends in general. I kind of prioritize saying yes more to hanging out with friends, and not just being like work, 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 work. So that made me happy. They came up and saw me. My family came up and saw me, so that was good. I think I did some good work this year as a PhD in general. I helped mentor some undergraduate students, which I was happy about. People in my lab think that I'm competent, which is good. I don't think I'm competent, but I'm glad that people do think that. So that did make me happy for 2025. All right. What else? I read more this year. I read more books, which is good. Not enough. I should read more this year, which is going to be part of my things. I would say I didn't stray from my values as a human being. I remember I was always an advocate for the anti-apartheid state of Israel, and I remember back in 2014 or 2014, it was so unpopular to have my position on that war, and I had to make a mental break to be like, I can't do it anymore. I can't keep fighting it. So I had to put the fight on pause just for my own mental health. And I know that's very unfair. So I would say back then, when I was young, I did compromise my value a little bit, and I didn't try to defend anything anymore, because there was so much pushback, and I couldn't talk about it with anybody, and it was really destroying my own mental health because I didn't understand. I was like, implicit racism, intrinsic racism is so apparent, and it scares me. Like, they really think people in the Middle East are animals, and I've had people say Palestinians are animals, and it's really a tough thing to hear. And I just don't get it. Because you try to appeal to their humanity. Like, you try to say, these are children that are being slaughtered, entire generations of families are getting destroyed. It's like, but they can justify it because they think that they're barbaric and that they're animals. And I've had people say those literal words to me, a close friend of mine, which was really, really disheartening. I'm not gonna lie about that. But this year, I always stood my ground. I didn't shy away from the topic. I've always discussed things. I didn't stray away from the values. I didn't let it affect me. as much. So I am proud of that. I did not stray from my values there. I took more vacation, which was good. I didn't talk about it a lot, but I did take more vacations this year. I started streaming again last year, you know. It wasn't for very long, and I stopped towards the end. But hey, look, I'm here right now, right? I'm back. Yeah, but anyway. I gave 2 talks, one to Google, one to the Canadian Food Agency, Inspection Agency. I published a paper. I think I published 2 papers actually. One conference, one journal paper. I have really good friends. Despite our differences in opinions, I have good friends. They're very good people. I joined a bunch of projects which are really cool. I learned stick shift in 2025. That was really cool. I learned stick shift. That's an accomplishment, right? That's a big one. I was really happy. I got a TV. So now I can play video games on TV. Yeah, and I spent more time with my girlfriend. And I read more books, like I said. So the last thing I'll say about what's good is that I still have some hope. It's definitely diminished. Diminished. But I always still have hope no matter what. I'm not gonna give up. I can't give up. I have to have some hope in the humanity of people. Or like, it doesn't even have to be every single person, but I still have some hope that things will change for the better. No matter what, even if it gets worse. But I have hope. That or the world ends, right? That's the only options here. It's either you have hope or you let it die. Okay. So that was the good and the bad of 2025. We say goodbye to both as we enter 2026, right? We say goodbye to that. In 2026, we start anew and we try to move forward. And honestly, it's a pretty good reset point here. Alright, what was I doing? Alright. Let's see. So, that brings us to my 2026 resolutions for the year. And this list will grow, you know. So first of all, for my resolutions, I want to keep track of things. So I'm making a page where I track the accomplishments that I do. Because I feel like I didn't track anything in 2025 and I kind of forgot what happened. And a lot happened, right? So I must be missing a lot of things. So, let's say for my resolutions, I kind of categorized it a bit. So 2026 resolution starts with health goals. Like I said, I got fat. It's not my fault. Alright? I like to eat. I like to have a good time. Alright? Life is stressful. And it ain't my fault. Just kidding. Of course it's my fault. But just because it's not my fault doesn't mean I can't change it, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. Look at me. I got a double chin. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And okay, so my main thing with the health goals is you just look a lot better in clothing. Like a lot of people like to say you just gotta find your right fits and your style and stuff like that for whatever shape you are that works with you. I feel like the better you look as a human being, it doesn't really matter what your fit is. You will make it look good. It looks good on you. You're kind of the canvas of your clothing. Um, so I just think the better you look, the broader the style that you can rock. Um, and when you don't look so good, you don't take care of yourself, you don't whatever, that those styles really start to narrow down. They really start to narrow down. So like, if I'm bigger, I only look good in things that are baggy, because I'm trying to hide my body. So I feel like if I'm not ashamed of my body and I'm trying to make myself look a little bit better, or take care of myself rather, I can start wearing whatever styles and experiment with it better. So that's the biggest thing for me, to be honest, is that I kind of want to look good in different types of clothing. I do kind of want to try to look cool. And I don't always want to just wear baggy stuff. I would like to wear tight stuff, try to show off a bit. And I can't do that if I'm like ashamed of my body a bit. So personally, that's kind of the main thrust for my health goals. And also just to be healthier in general. I just turned 30 this year. And I would like 30 to be a healthy one, a good one. So I'm really going to try to push this health goals. So for health goals, aim to consistently go to the gym and work out at least 3 times a week. More than 3 times a week, preferably. What am I going to do with this? I did sign up for a year-long subscription at a local gym. Before, I was subscribed to a gym that didn't have a changing room. It was like a cheap, like Planet Fitness. There's no changing rooms. You just go and work out. I decided to treat myself this year and go subscribe to a little bit higher quality gym, and which has a changing room, it has sauna, it has showers, and it's not too far from my place. So there you go. Aim for consistent workout 3 times a week. And not only that, is I do want to do 1 exercise per day. It doesn't have to be a strenuous exercise, but just to get myself moving a little bit. So I want to either start the day with an exercise. It could be a stretch, it could be yoga, it could be a walk, it could be crunches, it could be whatever. I just want to do 1 workout per day. And I want to start the day with it. But if I am busy in the morning, or like I have to wake up early and I have something in the morning, I will end the day with that workout. So I think that's a good one. My second goal is, right now I'm a 33 waist pants. I want to fit into a size 32. That's a big goal. Weight goal, a healthy weight for my height is 185 pounds. I'm around there. I'm more like 200 pounds. I'm going to try to lose 20 pounds goal weight for 2026. I think it's reasonable to maintain a healthy weight. This one's a big one for me. This one's going to be the toughest one, is to eat out max 2 per week. I think my biggest limiting factor is my food addiction. Or I don't want to call it an addiction, but I like food. Food is it's such a big deal for me, food. And I think I need to change my mentality about food. Instead of thinking about it as like I always have to have the most delicious thing all the time at every moment kind of thing, to a this is substance. It should taste good, but I shouldn't overdo it, and I should like have very good meals on special occasions, you know, those decadencies or whatever, decadent meals, you know. That should be like, that should be special, you know. I should make food a little bit more special by doing that, instead of like flooding the food market and just like eating it whenever I want, whatever I want. So I kind of have to be a little bit more disciplined on food. For that, I say like I'm gonna try to eat out max 2 times per week, you know, and everything else I'll try to do home cooked or meal prep it, you know. So that's my resolution. Make a workout routine. The gym that I signed up for has a app that has routines on it. I'm gonna follow that, so that's already on its way. And I'm gonna try to work out on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. I'm gonna try to go to the gym every day, but I will say I have to do Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Okay. Watch what I eat. Like I said, that's it. Okay. Routine goals. I have to meal prep every week. So I think a lot of it is when I'm busy. I don't have time to just spontaneously cook, so I need to meal prep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to meal prep every Sunday. You know what? That could be good content. You know what? That's a great idea. Good content. Meal prepping a week. Meal prepping. Sundays. Sunday fun days. So Sunday fun days could be me streaming video games plus meal prepping. Okay, and like I said, to tame my impulse control, so that's a lot of the food. So I'm just kind of too impulsive about that. The big one is to prioritize the routine. Do not stray from the routine. The routine has priority over everything, because health is the most important thing. And I know work really is the temptation. Work is the apple that tempted Eve, right? As Christians would say. So I'm going to try to prioritize the routines. The things I really want to prioritize is doing groceries, meal prepping, having home time, and the gyms. So I will try to prioritize that, or I will try to prioritize. Okay. Making lists and logs. Okay, so like I said, I want to log things a bit. I'm starting, you know, like sometimes you tend to forget. I'm like, did I read that book? Did I watch this? Do I even remember what I did? So make lists and logs. So games I've played, books I've read, works that I've accomplished. The works that I've accomplished is on my website, so that's already kind of done, but I need to keep at it. This year I want to read 10 books. 10 books. Okay? Maybe I could do a stream on a summary book stream. Book club. You know what? I could do a book club stream. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, I'll do that. I want to read 10 books. Sunday fun day. And I want to beat 3 video games today. This year. The video games, I'm going to keep it very low standard. I just want to beat 3. If I can beat 3, I'll be happy. If I beat more, great. Mazel tov. You know? Okay. Languages. I speak French, but it's not very professional. I want to be proficient in French. So I'm going to do French practice. Also, same thing with Japanese. I speak Japanese, but it's not very professional. It's very casual Japanese, and I speak it with my family. So, this like if I ever want to live in Japan, it would be difficult. So, I would like to do consistent. So, languages I want to learn is French and Japanese. This one, it's a good one to keep track of. Professional development. I want to have 3 publications this year. 3 publications this year. That's my goal. Let's aim for 3 publications. Maybe I could apply for some jobs, look at job market stuff. I just want to make some money. I'm tired of being a broke student. All right. So let's yeah. I don't really have a plan for that except for, I don't know. We'll see. Live streaming. I'm going to try to aim to live stream at least 5 times a week. I'm planning to do every day. I'm going to plan on doing every day. But let's just say 5 times a week will be my goal. All right. Spend more time with friends and family. That's given. Yeah. So those are my resolutions for 2026. I'll probably have some more goals, more implementations of my resolutions later on. But that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, those are my resolutions, my thought processes, things that, my reasoning for it, why I want to move on from 2025 and see what happens. Oh, there is something. I do want to make a positive change. I'm going to add that. I want to do things that would have a positive outcome on society. So not just positive outcomes for myself, but I don't know. Sometimes I do feel alienated. I do feel like I'm not involved in things, even though I get pissed off at the world, you know. And I would like to do things that would make the world a little bit better somehow. I have no idea. I would like to get involved in a community, like give back to a community somehow. So I don't know. I don't have the details about that, but I'll think about it. I'm gonna think about it because it's so easy to just get pissed off at what's going on and complain and just get disheartened. And it's so easy because we're so alienated. We have no idea of how to start anything. So I'm going to try to figure out in 2026, I'll try to figure out how I can get involved. We'll see. We'll see how things work out. Okay, so those are my 2026 resolutions. Mark it. It's recorded. Keep me accountable if anyone watches this shiza. And we'll see. I'm going to log everything. So for streaming, like I said, most streams I think I'll still do like try to accomplish a task for work. Most days. But I will do fun things. Like maybe I'll do like the book club things where I'll talk about a chapter of a book, of the 10 books that I'm reading. I'll do Sunday Fun Days, which is a video game, and meal prepping. So I think that's a good idea. And I might write that down in my calendar. Okay. Let's say 2026 stream schedule. 1, 2s, wed, thurs, fry, sat, sun. Sunday, fun day. Video game. Meal prep. Maybe Saturdays I'll do groceries. We'll see. Fridays. No, maybe Saturday. Book day. Maybe Mondays? No, Mondays. Since Monday is kind of boring. Monday or Wednesday book club. Let's try that. Let's try that. Okay. That's pretty good. All right. Those are my resolutions for 2026. Mark it. Ooh. Where's my phone? Okay, that's good. That's good. So now I'm gonna kind of show you updates on my work, projects that I'm expecting to do that I think are going to be. Where's all this stuff? Oh. Oh, here it is. What time? Oh, we've been streaming for an hour now. That's pretty good. Okay. See my, you can see me, right? Maybe I'll move myself up top left here. Okay, so I kind of have like this Gantt chart to show like what I've done so far and what the progress for the next stuff is in the future for so now I'm talking specifically about my projects, things that I want to try to accomplish in terms of work, and kind of like give a guideline of what's happening, why I'm doing the development that I'm doing. So the first thing is the controlled hydroponic imaging platform. I posted a video, like a quick short video. This is what the development has been so far this year. So remember, I made the camera server, so now I have a server that sends cameras video feed into a database. I'm collecting, this was the Atmino, which collects sensor data, which is environmental data, and this was the platform that I'm building now. So yeah, this was the motion platform. You can see it moving there. I want to set up a streaming service here so that you can always see the robot moving. I think that'll be very dope if we have that live streamed. That'd be really cool. Last year we saw the development of this, I think from start to finish, of the Atmino. So this had the environmental sensor data, it had the portal, remember the Raspberry Pi Pico web portal, so that you can connect it to the Wi-Fi and send data through MQTT, and it has all the sensors there. So I did that live on stream. That was pretty cool. I have it set up in the greenhouse right now. Yeah. Okay, the camera server. So the Campi server, this is also done live on the stream. So this has a Raspberry Pi which collects image feed, and we can use that to collect image data. You've also seen this live. So this is good because it's giving a perspective on what we're trying to do and putting it all together. Stuff like that. Okay. We're working on the motion platform. This I didn't stream because it's kind of hard to stream this when I'm not home. That's hence I would like to try to figure this out before I start streaming. There. I need to figure this out a bit, but we'll figure it out. But this is it working right now. This was the Campi server image feed, and that's the robot moving, just working on the route planning and stuff like that. We did some motion planning for it, so let's see it. So this is us setting how it moves. So it's going different places. This was pretty dope. We were very happy that it worked. This is something that we have to work on. So this will probably be part of the work streams that I do, which is kind of the system development. So how we're gonna, well, a lot of it is actually already done, but I need to do the data collection protocol. So how do we store that data and make it available open for everybody? So this is kind of the plan. I'm kind of blocking everything, but here you can see it. So this is the system overview that I'm trying to implement. I have right now the Flask web application. I have the serial communication. I have the Amino communication, and I have the communication from the image server and the controls. So this is pretty much done. The only thing I need to work on is the data processing layer. So collecting data, storing it, sending it, and the motion platform. So this stuff here. I'm gonna really try to figure out how to do that on live stream. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah. So this is the protocol for that data processing layer. So we'll try to accomplish that. Okay, next steps. Finalize setting. Okay, yeah. Okay, these are some other projects that I think were pretty cool. You saw me develop this CO2 chamber system. This is kind of a side project. To be honest, I'm not that. It's getting a little bit complicated. The second one. This is where I think I can make a positive change in the world. So I want to explore. So hear me out. This is a very, very conceptual idea. I would like to explore food bank greenhouses. Greenhouses that are not made for mass production of crops. Here, let me put it on myself. So, you know, I had the 2026 resolution that said I want to do something positive, community oriented, and stuff like that. So this project, I would like to see, because I work in controlled environment agriculture, which is basically indoor farming. And I would like to see, well, developing technologies for indoor farming. And a lot of indoor farming is done for the purpose of mass production of food still, like you see it for tomatoes. But the idea of controlled environment agriculture is that you can grow whatever crop you want wherever in the world. And that idea should translate to localized food production rather than mass production, right? Like you can grow exotic fruits, you can grow foods where you can't necessarily grow in traditional agriculture. But what we see is that the majority of greenhouses are still made for kind of this mass production approach to agriculture. So I would like to see if we can do like very small scale agriculture in greenhouses for the production and distribution for an altruistic purpose, for like community production. So that's where this project comes from. I'm looking at right now, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the economics of it all, looking at distributions of greenhouses, looking at where food placement is and stuff like that, and trying to make a plausible case for this kind of technology or approach to agriculture that is not meant for profit and not meant for mass production, but rather localized food production. And I'm trying to make a case make sense. So I'm looking at different data, global data, to see whether we can have a positive impact towards communities. And I'm using like Quebec and Montreal as a use case of this. It's still very early in its concept, but we'll see how it goes. I think my idea, the grand scheme of things, would be, can we make a positive future? Like not, so you know how there's like this idea of a cyberpunk future that is dystopian, hyper-capitalist world that includes technology. I'm looking at it more like, can we make a solar punk future? Solar punk, right? Like, and the vision of solar punk is like buildings with a lot of greenery. Everything is reusable energy. You know, it's not profit incentivized, but humanist, right? So the grand concept is, can we reimagine a future that is solar punk and not cyberpunk? So that's my little idea for this project. So these are all the projects that I'm working on in 2026. I think it's a lot. Maybe I'm naive, but we'll see. I'll try my best. So I think that's the goal. Yeah. Maybe I should put myself in the middle here. But yeah. Okay. So with that being said, I streamed today to basically get back into streaming, introduce what I'm up to for the 2026, my hopes and dreams, my resolutions, and kind of the project goal that I see for the future, and the projects that I'm working on. I think I'm gonna end the stream there. This is really good start to the year. I'm happy. Hopefully I didn't bore anybody, and maybe I want to be more honest this year and be a little bit more forward with my ideology and world ideology, making things more humanistic and less profit motivated. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. This was really fun. I'm gonna get back to you guys tomorrow. So keep an eye out for the stream if anyone is watching, and let's get it. Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.